New wife cheats with multiple men, asks her sister to cover. When I filed for divorce, she threatened to call me abusive. I really need to get something off my chest, and I don't even know where to start. I guess the beginning works, right? So, I'm 28, and my older brother Nate has been married to Emma for about 4 years now. They were together for 2 years before tying the knot. I've always looked up to Nate, and Emma has been like a sister to me since day one. Our family took her in immediately. My parents always wanted a daughter, and Emma just fit right in. She comes over for Sunday dinners even if Nate's stuck at work and helps my mom with gardening. She just has this knack for making everyone feel comfortable. Nate and Emma are that couple that everyone wants to be, supportive, communicative, genuinely happy. About a year ago, Emma's sister Tara started showing up more at our family gatherings. She's totally different from Emma. While Emma's warm and a bit reserved, Tara's like the life of the party, outgoing, vivacious, always the center of attention. She has this laugh that just fills the room, and she's amazing at telling stories. I found myself drawn to her. We'd chat at these family events, and there was definitely some flirting going on. She'd touch my arm when she laughed at my jokes and would always seek me out when she arrived at gatherings. She even started texting me random funny stuff during the week. I'm not usually one for casual things. I take relationships seriously, which is probably why I haven't dated much. After months of this back and forth at family events, I finally got up the nerve to ask Tara out. It took me weeks to figure out how to do it. I wanted to make it clear that I liked her but also keep it casual. So, there I was, pacing around my apartment on a Tuesday night, super nervous, before finally calling her and asking if she wanted to grab dinner. She said yes right away, no hesitation. I was thrilled. Later, I found out that Emma had warned Tara to only date me if she was serious because it could make things complicated with the family. But Tara just brushed it off, saying Emma needed to chill out. Our first date was awesome. Tara wore this red dress, and I could barely focus on the menu. We talked easily and felt this amazing connection. We stayed until the place closed, and she even kissed me first when I walked her to her car. I was so excited, like, teenager after prom excited. I couldn't resist telling Nate and Emma about it, and even texted my parents. Everyone was happy for me, though Emma seemed a bit cautious. She texted me, saying she was glad I had a good time but reminded me Tara had a history of not treating guys well. I just took it as her looking out for me. Things heated up fast after that. We were almost inseparable for the first week and officially became a couple within a month. I introduced Tara to my friends and took her to work events. My friends liked her, though Chris did pull me aside at a barbecue to say she seemed high maintenance. I shrugged it off, but not everything was perfect. We started arguing over dumb stuff sometimes, and other times over more serious things. She'd bail on plans last minute if something better came up with her friends, and her being glued to her phone when we were together started bugging me. I'd vent to Nate about how frustrating it was, and I knew Tara would complain to Emma about me too. Emma would mention that Tara called her upset over stuff I said or did, things I didn't remember or didn't think were a big deal. Despite all that, I was falling for her. Hard. I started wanting to know where she was all the time and who she was with. Looking back, I can see I was being possessive, but at the time I thought it was just being invested in us. I became obsessed with checking her social media to see who was commenting on her photos. I'd ask her to let me know when she got to places, when she was leaving, and who'd be there. She seemed a bit annoyed, usually complying with a sigh or an eye roll that made me feel unreasonable, but I couldn't help it. I was constantly worried she'd find someone more fun and adventurous. Then, 3 months into our relationship, I started getting this gut feeling something was off. Tara said she was going out with work friends on a Friday night, and she'd been talking about this coworker Alex a lot lately. It was always, Alex said this funny thing, or Alex and I are working on this project. I tried to ignore it, but the feeling. She just wasn't spilling the beans about their plans, and every time I tried to get more info, she dodged the question. So, I did something I'm not exactly proud of. I decided to pop by the bar she mentioned. I thought I'd just sneak a look, maybe wave if she saw me, or pretend I was meeting someone else if things got awkward. When I got there, she was sitting with this guy, just the two of them, no work buddies around. They were all cozy, laughing, and even touching hands. At one point, he tucked her hair behind her ear, and I was fuming. I stood there for like 5 minutes, totally stunned and pissed off before I finally marched over to them. Tara looked shocked to see me, eyes wide with what seemed like guilt. She tried explaining that Alex was just a colleague, and that it was just a friendly hangout because the others bailed last minute. But I didn't buy it. Then, the guy stood up and told me to calm down, said I was embarrassing both me and Tara. When he put his hand on my chest to push me back, something just snapped, and I threw a punch. Next thing I knew, we were on the floor, tables were getting knocked over, glasses breaking, and the bartender was yelling. Someone called the cops, and I got arrested for the first time ever. They took me in for assault and property damage, and I was too embarrassed to call my parents, so I called Nate for bail. Nate and Emma picked me up at the station around 2 a.m. I explained everything in the car, how I followed Tara because I was suspicious, saw her with the guy, and lost my cool. Nate kept saying he got it, but that I had to get a grip on my jealousy. Emma was super quiet, just looking at me in a way I couldn't figure out. When they dropped me off, she hugged me tight and whispered, "Be careful." I didn't quite get what she meant. The next day, Tara called, and she was furious. She revealed I'd accidentally hit her too in the chaos of the fight. I didn't even remember it, but she sent a photo, and there it was, a bruise forming under her left eye. I felt terrible. I've never hit a woman, and it was all an accident, but the damage was done. I kept staring at that photo, unable to believe I'd caused harm, even by accident. Tara said she wanted to end things, that she couldn't be with someone who'd stalk her and get violent. The worst part was realizing she wasn't lying about Alex, he really was just a coworker, and people had canceled last minute. My jealousy made me blow up at the wrong time. I later found out Alex dropped the charges after Tara convinced him to, telling him it'd just make everything worse. I felt even more guilty, knowing I was let off because of Tara's intervention. I begged her not to break up with me, even got on my knees during a tearful talk at her place, promising I'd work on my jealousy and anger. I suggested both individual and couples therapy, told her I'd make it up to her for life. She was hesitant but agreed to think about it. I filled her inbox with apologies and promises to change, dove into books on anger management and jealousy, and started finding therapists. Eventually, she gave me another chance, saying she loved me too much to just leave, and believed I could change. We started seeing a therapist together, and I also began solo sessions to tackle my anger issues. Things slowly got better. The therapist helped me understand my possessive streak and gave me tools to manage my jealousy. After 6 months of therapy and what felt like real progress, I asked Tara if she'd move in with me. She was all in, said she'd been waiting for it. Living together wasn't without its hiccups, she was messier than I thought, and I was more of a routine person than she liked. She wanted to go out during the week, while I preferred saving social outings for weekends. But I was committed to making it work. I thought we were solid and had moved past our early hiccups. I even started planning a surprise proposal on a work trip to Chicago. Okay, so I spent weeks meticulously planning everything. I coordinated with the restaurant, picked out the perfect ring, the whole shebang. I took her to the top of Willis Tower, and with the city lights sparkling below us, I got down on one knee. She immediately said yes and started crying, which made everything feel like it had fallen perfectly into place. Later that night, as we were lying in bed, she told me she had never been happier, said she couldn't wait to be my wife, and that somehow she just knew we were destined to be together forever. Both of our families were over the moon about our engagement. We even threw a dinner party to celebrate, and everyone genuinely seemed so happy. My mom was in tears, hugging Tara nonstop and telling her how she'd always dreamed of having a daughter-in-law like her. My dad, on the other hand, pulled me aside to express how proud he was of me, of how much I'd grown and how I'd found someone who truly made me happy. I did notice Emma pulled Tara aside at one point during the evening. She had this serious look on her face, but when Tara came back, she was all smiles, reassuring me that everything was cool, and that Emma was just being her usual protective self. Apparently, Tara told Emma that I'd changed and that we were in a really good place now. Fast forward a few months, and we were deep into wedding planning. My parents were super generous and covered a big chunk of the expenses. Tara had always dreamed of an elaborate wedding, with the perfect dress, venue, and flowers. I was all in, wanting to give her the wedding of her dreams. I remember us sitting together, flipping through bridal magazines as she pointed out the dresses she liked and mused over color schemes. She was so happy and excited about our future, and I felt like the luckiest guy alive. The wedding day itself was magical. The ceremony took place in this gorgeous old church, followed by a reception at a stunning country club overlooking a lake. Tara looked absolutely stunning in her lace dress, her hair pinned up with a few curls framing her face. I couldn't help but shake as I recited my vows, and her eyes teared up when she said hers. I remember thinking how worth it all those rough patches were just to get to this moment. Everyone commented on what a beautiful couple we made and how they could just feel the love between us. After the wedding, we jetted off to Bali for a 2-week honeymoon in paradise. We lounged on white sandy beaches, swam in crystal clear waters, and stayed at these luxurious resorts. Tara was all about capturing every moment, constantly posting pictures and texting updates to her family. In every shot, we were beaming, arm in arm, The picture-perfect newlyweds. She had a knack for posing us just right, sometimes taking dozens of photos before settling on the perfect one. At the time, I thought it was cute how she wanted to immortalize every second. Now, though, it all feels different. We've been back home for about a month now. I had to go on a business trip last week, which was the first time we'd been apart since the wedding. I called her every night and sent texts throughout the day, but she seemed kinda distracted. She said it was just work exhaustion, nothing to worry about. But when I got back, something felt off. Tara was distant, glued to her phone more than usual, and went to bed early, claiming headaches. I tried to chalk it up to post-honeymoon blues or the stress of returning to everyday life. I made her favorite dinner one night and suggested we finally watch that show she'd been wanting to see, hoping it would help us reconnect. Then, yesterday, Nate called me. His voice had this serious tone that made my stomach drop immediately. He asked if I was sitting down, then dropped the bombshell. Emma had just told him that Tara confessed to cheating on me. Apparently, Tara had invited Emma over while I was away and asked her to cover for her while she went out with other guys, plural. She admitted she'd already cheated multiple times and didn't plan on stopping. Tara told Emma she loved the stability of marriage but wasn't cut out for the whole monogamy thing. Emma was horrified and told Nate, who felt he had to let me know. When Tara got home from work, I confronted her. She denied it all at first, claimed Emma was making it up out of jealousy and had always tried to wreck our relationship. We got into a huge fight. Tara called Emma a liar and accused me of choosing my family over her, saying I obviously didn't trust her. I ended up grabbing her phone and locking myself in the bathroom. Tara banged on the door, yelled at me to give it back, and even threatened to call the cops. I ignored her and started scrolling through her messages. What I found made me feel sick: texts to multiple guys, some I recognized as her coworkers, others complete strangers to me, explicit conversations, plans to meet up, photos I can't even describe. The messages dated back months, even before our wedding, and there were some from during our honeymoon, sent while I was showering or napping. I forwarded everything to myself as proof, taking screenshots. Then I came out, handed her the phone back, and didn't say a word. So, I just grabbed my stuff and bailed as she was all over the place, bouncing between saying sorry and blaming me for snooping in her life. As I made my way to the door, she held onto my arm, begging me to stay and work things out. I just calmly moved her hand and walked out without even glancing back. Now I'm crashing at a hotel, and I've already reached out to a lawyer about getting a divorce. Everything I thought about us turned out to be a complete lie, and I have no idea how I'm gonna face my family and friends. Everyone who was at our wedding, all those people who congratulated us, and those who saw me promise to love her forever just a couple of weeks ago, I feel like such a fool. Update: it's been a week since I found out Tara was cheating and left our place. I'm still in a hotel trying to wrap my head around all this. Haven't gone back to the apartment yet. I just can't deal with seeing our wedding photos on the walls, our stuff mixed together, or the bed we used to share. Meanwhile, I'm talking to my lawyer about the divorce. Apparently, you can't get an annulment just because of cheating. I still can't believe I'm saying this, divorced after being married for less than 2 months. Divorce always seemed like something that happened to older folks or people who drifted apart after years together, not newlyweds who were supposed to be in the honeymoon phase. But since it's been such a short marriage and we have clear evidence of cheating, the lawyer says it should be a pretty straightforward process. Thankfully, there are no kids in the picture. We were planning on starting a family next year and even had some names picked out during those late-night chats about our future. We didn't own any property together, we were just renting the apartment while saving up for a house. The only messy part is that my parents paid around $40,000 for the wedding, which now makes me feel sick knowing it was all for a sham marriage. The lawyer thinks we could maybe get some of that back, but honestly, I just want this to be over as soon as possible. I want to cut all ties with Tara and pretend this whole mess never happened. Tara's been blowing up my phone with calls, texts, and voicemails, like dozens every day, going back and forth between saying she's sorry and blaming me, claiming I was too controlling and made her feel trapped, then saying she loves me and wants to fix things, even bringing up counseling. Then she goes on to accuse Emma of trying to ruin our marriage out of jealousy. It's just exhausting. I stopped responding after a few days and blocked her number, but she keeps finding ways to reach me using new email addresses and friends' phones. I've kept all this stuff for my lawyer, just in case we need it as evidence of harassment. Nate and Emma have been total lifesavers through all this. They offered me their guest room, home-cooked meals, and a shoulder to cry on. But I kinda need some space right now to sort through everything on my own before I can handle anyone's pity or concern. Emma feels bad about telling Nate, which led to him telling me. But I told her she did the right thing. I'd rather know the truth, even if it's painful, than be left in the dark while my wife made a fool out of me. Emma said she struggled with it because she's loyal to her sister, but she couldn't stand by and watch me get betrayed like that. She's honestly a better sister to me than Tara deserves. The hardest part was breaking the news to my parents. They adored Tara and thought she was perfect for me, especially after seeing how I'd changed for her with therapy and anger management. Mom had already started planning for grandkids and welcomed Tara with open arms. When I told them what happened, Mom was devastated, crying so hard that it made me feel even worse. Dad got that scary quiet he does when he's really angry, his jaw clenching and eyes hardening. They wanted all the details, but I spared them most of it, just said she'd been unfaithful multiple times and it was over. Mom asked if there was any chance we could work it out, but I told her no, and I meant it. There's no way back from this kind of betrayal. I've taken some time off work, and my boss was really understanding, just said to take the time I needed and check in when I could. My coworkers don't know the details, just that I'm dealing with a family emergency. I keep going over our relationship in my head, trying to spot any signs I missed, the times she was vague about her plans, the girls' nights that went on too long, the coworkers she talked about a lot. Was she cheating the whole time, even before we got married? Was that incident at the bar with her coworker Alex actually what I thought it was? Did she sleep with him that night after I got arrested? I may never know the full truth, and maybe that's for the best. Every new piece of information feels like being stabbed all over again. I haven't been sleeping well. I've been having these dreams where everything's all good, like we're happy, planning our future together. Then bam, I wake up in this hotel room by myself, and reality hits hard. The minibar's been restocked twice this week alone. Yeah, not my proudest moment, but it's the only way I can sleep some nights. The hotel staff are starting to give me that "oh, poor you" look. I must look like a hot mess, unshaven, red-eyed, wearing the same few outfits over and over because I only packed one suitcase when I bailed. My friends keep checking in, wanting to grab drinks and offer support, but I haven't taken any of them up on it. I'm just not ready to talk about it face to face. Writing it out here to a bunch of strangers feels easier, people who don't know me or Tara, who won't give me those looks of pity mixed with curiosity, or say what a great couple we were. I'm meeting with the lawyer again tomorrow to go over the initial divorce papers. Tara doesn't know I've started the process. I'm not looking forward to her reaction when she gets those papers, but there's no turning back now. No therapy, promises, or tears can fix what's already broken. Our marriage was doomed before it even started. Update number 2, it's been about 2 weeks since my last update, 3 weeks since I found out Tara was cheating. A lot has happened, none of it fun. She got served the divorce papers at her office last week. I didn't want it to go down like that, would have preferred it happen somewhere private, but my lawyer said it was the easiest way since she wasn't home much, and I didn't want to see her face to face. Her reaction was pretty much what I expected, a total meltdown. She found out where I was staying, likely by calling every hotel in the area until she found me. That evening, the front desk called saying there was a woman causing a scene in the lobby, claiming to be my wife and demanding to know my room number. I had to go deal with it. She was a mess, crying, mascara everywhere, hair all over the place. She was shouting that I couldn't do this, that we needed to talk, that I owed her that much at least. People were staring, and a security guard was hovering. I felt embarrassed, angry, and there was this leftover ache seeing her like that. Despite everything, I agreed to a quick chat in the hotel restaurant. In hindsight, I should have had security escort her out. The conversation went nowhere, just a loop of accusations and excuses. She tried everything: tears, begging, anger, manipulation. Claimed the messages were just flirting, nothing physical, a lie based on what I saw. Said she had a sex addiction and needed help, not abandonment. Blamed it on being confused but now realizing she wanted me, only me, forever. Then she switched to blaming Emma, saying she was trying to mess up our marriage out of jealousy. When nothing worked, she threatened to claim I was abusive, mentioning a bar incident where I accidentally hit her during a fight. Said she had photos of the black eye, and everyone would believe her over me, that I'd lose my job, my friends, my reputation. I stayed calm, told her the divorce was happening whether she liked it or not, and if she kept bothering me or spreading lies, I'd get a restraining order and sue her for defamation. I had all her texts saved as proof of her affairs. Then I walked away. She followed me to the elevator, still yelling threats and pleas until security stepped in. I went back to my room and called my lawyer to update him. He said to document everything and we'd file a restraining order if we had to. The next day, I finally went back to our apartment to get more of my stuff. I asked Nate to come with me just in case Tara was there. She wasn't, probably at work, not that I knew or cared about her schedule anymore. I packed most of my clothes, some personal things, my computer, important documents, and left the furniture, kitchen stuff, and wedding gifts. I just wanted my personal things, stuff that mattered before Tara, things that weren't part of our relationship. Nate helped me load everything into his car. We didn't talk much during the whole thing, but having him there was comforting. I've moved out of the hotel and into a small furnished apartment with a month-to-month lease. At least here I can cook for myself and try to get some kind of routine going. I've gone back to work, though focusing is tough. Man, my mind keeps drifting all the time, and everybody at work can tell something's up. I went from being the happy newlywed to not even wearing my ring and looking like I haven't slept in forever. But hey, at least everyone's been cool about not asking too many questions. A couple of my close work buddies asked if I'm okay, and I've just been giving them the standard personal issues line. I'm definitely not ready to say, hey, my wife cheated, and we're getting divorced to people I see every day. Yesterday, my parents swung by to see the new place. Mom came with groceries, her homemade lasagna, and fresh sheets for the bed. Dad helped set up the TV and the internet, and we hung up some pictures I grabbed from the old apartment. They didn't stick around long, probably because it's hard for them to see me like this. They were so excited when I got married, like, their younger son had finally settled down with someone nice. Now I'm back to square one but feeling even worse, broken, distrustful, and getting divorced at 28. When they left, Mom gave me a big hug and whispered that things would get better with time. I really want to believe her. So, my lawyer tells me Tara is contesting the divorce, saying there's no proof she cheated. I mean, I handed over all the messages I found on her phone, tons of explicit texts with at least 4 guys, plans to meet at hotels while I was working, and even her saying I'm boring in bed compared to them. My lawyer says it's plenty of evidence and that she's just trying to slow things down, maybe hoping I'll cave and agree to counseling or something. Not gonna happen. He's pretty confident that, even with her stalling, the divorce should be done in about 6 months. Emma, Tara's sister, reached out to me directly for the first time since everything went down. We grabbed coffee at a place away from our normal spot so we wouldn't run into anyone we knew. She apologized again for not seeing what Tara was capable of and not warning me before the wedding. I told her she didn't need to apologize. If anything, I owe her for telling Nate the truth when it would have been easier to stay quiet. Emma mentioned Tara's been bad-mouthing her to their parents, blaming her for the marriage falling apart out of spite. Their dad isn't buying it, he's always seen through Tara's crap, but their mom is torn. Family drama I seriously don't need to be messing with right now, but it sucks to see Emma dealing with it after doing the right thing. Honestly, I'm so freaking exhausted with everything going on. That's all I've got for now. I might update later if anything new happens. Thanks for watching in. If you haven't yet, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more crazy real-life stories happening around you.